Hi everyone, welcome to a brand new episode of Jennifer's Tale, My Life as a Crossdresser. I of course am Jennifer, and I want to thank those of you who are watching this YouTube video, or also for those of you who are listening via podcast audio-wise. I know it's been a while since my last episode, but I've had a bit of a break. I had things come up that took care of my girl days. I wasn't able to get out. But today, as you can see, or as you can hear, I'm back to having a Jennifer day. And one of the things I wanted to talk about today was a topic brought up by one of my listeners, and that is purging, or having to get rid of your women's clothes. Now, I think if you're a cross-dresser, a lot of you have had to do this. You probably have done this at least once, if not several times. And I wanted to talk about my history of purging my clothes and what that meant to me and why I finally stopped doing that, and also what you can do, or things that I did, or ideas that I have for maybe saving you some money in the long run, for lack of a better term. Maybe a way to, if you're thinking about purging, to put your stuff in storage or something. So anyway, purging is, for a crossdresser, is when you kind of reach a point where you, at least for me, I told myself I don't want to cross-dress anymore. This isn't who I am. I am a guy. I shouldn't be doing this. And so we go through the act of getting rid of all our clothes. Usually we throw them away, donate them to Goodwill, what have you. And over the years I've done that numerous times. I know when I was in high school, my first little bundle of clothes, I had a little duffel bag under my bed that had some pantyhose and some clothes that my mom had that I had taken. And when I moved off to college, I decided to get rid of that, not so much because I wasn't going to cross-dress anymore, but I was kind of moving on, stepping it up, trying to become more of a cross-dresser. So that was kind of the first time I purged, but it wasn't really purging, because when I got to college and got an apartment, I definitely started buying stuff and exploring, experimenting more, and things like that. I started buying makeup. That was something different. But then the next time I purged was when I made a big move from my little small town in Iowa to a big city in Iowa. It was quite a bit of a jump, and part of the reason I did that was because I wanted to have a lifestyle change, but I also had a girl that I was interested in, and I was telling myself that I need to give up the cross-dressing if I'm going to get a girlfriend, or if I'm going to be with a woman. So it was kind of weird. I ended up having kind of a ceremony for it. I found a park, a little park that nobody really went to, and I took all my female items and I burned them. I started a fire and I pitched them, kind of symbolizing the end of this part of me, the end of my cross-dressing days. I was over and done with it. I wasn't going to do it again. And I think you all know how that works out. I moved to a big city. It didn't work out with this girl I was trying to impress or trying to have as my girlfriend. And eventually the feeling of dressing started all over again. I started amassing a little bit of a wardrobe. I started dressing. Once again, I had a bunch of clothes and stuff. I ended up having a girlfriend that found out about my cross-dressing, and she was okay with it starting out, but then after that she didn't care for it, and so she kind of moved on. I still had my clothes. I moved into an apartment with a friend of mine. I really started cross-dressing quite a bit. But then I fell in love with another girl who ended up being my wife, and once again, part of falling in love and, I'm going to get married, or I want this woman to be with me for life, I need to quit the cross-dressing. Well, at this time, I had a job where I had a storage unit, and I had my clothes in there. I had a couple boxes worth of stuff. And so what I did before I got married, I actually had a friend who was a cross-dresser, who's actually trans, and I gave her my stuff. I said, find a good home for this. Maybe another girl that could use these. Donate it to Goodwill. I'm done. I'm not going to cross-dress anymore. It's not exactly who I am. I am done. And once again, you kind of know how that goes. I quit dressing for quite some time, but that urge is always there, never goes away. And I finally told my wife about it, or she kind of figured it out, and she actually encouraged me. She wanted to see me dress. She told me I had a budget to go buy stuff I needed to dress up so she could see me. And it's just kind of gone from there. Nowadays, I have my stuff in my half of the closet upstairs in my bedroom, and it's all my clothes are hung up. My kids who are at home know not to go in there. They never meddle with stuff. Luckily enough, I have 2 kids who don't go snooping for Christmas presents, as far as I know. So I really don't have to worry about that. My wife stays out of my stuff. You know, like I've said in previous episodes, she's okay with my cross-dressing. She understands it's a part of who I am, but it's something she doesn't want to participate in. So therefore, she kind of leaves my stuff alone. She doesn't mess with it. So, but purging is something that there's definitely reasons why you do it. You know, for me, it was because I wanted to be a man and fall in love with a woman and, you know, have a family, become a father, that kind of thing. And it's like cross-dressing doesn't really have a place in that. But over the years, I've learned, just I think as everybody who was probably listening has learned, it never goes away. And if you continue to purge, all you're doing is wasting money. So for me, some tips I have as far as ways to get around purging. With social media nowadays, a lot of girls out there who are cross-dressers have friends usually nearby that are in the area, and maybe, you know, if you have the thoughts of purging or getting rid of all your clothes and you don't want to cross-dress anymore, maybe you can ask them, hey, is there any chance you can hold my stuff for me? I don't want to give it away. I don't want to give it to the Goodwill. I don't want to throw it away. Just on the off chance, you know, if I never ask you for it again, that's fine. But if I do have the urge to dress once again, at least I have stuff. And I'm sure there's plenty of girls out there that would be totally fine with that. That's one option. 2, depending on where you're at, sometimes you can find a storage space that is relatively cheap. I know back when I rented a storage space, it was only $40 a month. And it was relatively small, but usually most cross-dressers don't have that much in way of stuff. So maybe you can find a storage space and you could store your stuff there. Spending $40 a month to save yourself hundreds of dollars worth of clothes that you've purchased and makeup and wigs, things like that. Maybe that's a good idea to store it. Maybe you have a storage space that nobody goes into. Here where I live, we have a storage space, and I'm the only one who ever goes into it. So if I would need to store extra stuff, I can store it out there. I'm the one that has the key for it. My wife doesn't have a key, kids don't have a key. So I'm the only one who has access to it. Maybe you have something along those lines if you rent and have a storage space to keep your stuff. If you have a car that is your mode of transportation and it's your car and not your wife's car or your girlfriend's car, maybe you can keep the stuff in the trunk. I guess what I'm trying to say is there's always options for you. There's always places where you can keep your stuff. Maybe buy yourself a trunk and keep it in the room and keep it locked. Who knows? There's lots of different ways. It's horrible to think that you are going to get rid of stuff, especially stuff that you spent a lot of money on. Maybe it's outfits you really like that you don't think you'll ever find again. So when it comes to purging, do your best not to do it. I know it's an awfully big urge to fight, to say this isn't going to help me any. All I'm going to do is throw away money. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, chances are these feelings are going to come back, and you're going to want to dress up all over again. So there you have it. There's an episode on purging. Thank you to my listener whose name I totally forgot. I apologize, but you know who you are, who suggested talking about purging. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. And until next time, this is Jennifer saying hugs and kisses. Bye.